President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi received a phone call from the South Korean President Yoon Suk. Presidential spokesman Bassam Radi said that the two leaders discussed the bilateral cooperation at the economic and the investment levels. Radi added that President al-Sisi congratulated the South Korean counterpart on the occasion of celebrating the Foundation Day of the Korean Republic, stressing the Egyptian appreciation for the long-standing close relations with South Korea. The two leaders exchanged the views over the regional and the international issues of mutual interest. They also probed the means of fostering cooperation in the climate change issues, as Egypt is hosting the UAE Climate Change Conference, the COP27, in Sharm el-Sheikh next month. During the weekly cabinet meeting, Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli discussed a number of political, economic and social files and the latest developments on the global arena and the repercussions of the Russian-Ukrainian crisis. The cabinet meeting also followed up on the preparations ahead of the economic conference and the COP27 summit in Sharm el-Sheikh next November, in addition to the provision of staple commodities for the citizens and monitoring of the markets. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli also launched the first phase of the Cairo Bike project. Madbouli said that the Cairo Bike project is the first public bike system in Egypt which relies on the usage of the green transport as an alternative to cars. This coincides with the Egyptian preparations to host the United Nations Climate Change Conference of the party's COP27 next month in Sharm el-Sheikh. The Navy forces celebrate the 55th anniversary, which falls on the 21st of October, commemorating the sinking of the Israeli destroyer Eilat back in 1967, which is one of the greatest victories for the Egyptian Navy. The celebration is a memorial of the men of our naval forces and the prelude to the great victory that was achieved on the 6th of October in 1973. This came during the proceedings of a press conference held at the headquarters of the naval forces in Ras el-Tin in Alexandria on the occasion of the celebration of the Naval Forces Day. Egypt said it follows with great concern the latest developments in the occupied Palestinian territories. Cairo called for an immediate cessation of violence and protection of the civilians whose lives are in a state of risk. Moreover, Egypt called on the major international powers and peace process partners to bear responsibility of stopping the violence and take urgent actions to calm the escalating situation. Both the Israeli and the Palestinian sides are called to resume the peace process. Back home, the Egyptian archaeologist and the former Minister of Antiquities, Dr. Zahi Hawass, announced the release of a petition document demanding the return of the Rosetta Stone from the British Museum and the Zodiac ceiling from the Louvre Museum. On his website, Facebook and the Instagram accounts, Hawass said that the petition became ready to be signed by all who want to protect the Egyptian antiquities worldwide. He added that these pieces were part of the Ministry of Antiquities concern before 2011 and that the real place is at the Grand Egyptian Museum. Upon directives of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, activities of the Economic Conference Egypt 2022 will kick off next Sunday. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli said that the conference aims at hammering out an economic roadmap for the state and proposing clear policies and measures which will contribute to boosting the national economy's flexibility and competitiveness. In the course of the conference, a number of industrial incentives and governmental initiatives will be announced to enhance the country's economic performance and increase the exports. Egypt's stock market indices collectively soared, being bolstered by the purchasing operations by the Arab and the foreign investors. The main EGX 30 index soared 1.15%. The small and medium EGX 70 index added 0.75%. The more expanded EGX 100 index soared 0.84%. The overall transactions and dealings within the session reached 1.2 billion Egyptian pounds.